Bro falls off a cliff, lands in a pile of god-tier loot, and gets a cheat code to ascend as a literal flower deity. Easy dubs, right? Nah, bro is actually low-key tweaking. Because not only is our boy absolutely shredded from the fall, he's literally starving to death. Doesn't matter how much top-tier loot you got if you're too broke to actually use it. Just as he's trying to figure out how to stay alive, he spots this random sus-looking plant growing all by itself in a corner of the cave. He's just staring at this 1-meter-tall weed, feeling like something is definitely not adding up. The thing is covered in dark green leaves with these fake-out spikes. And at the base of every leaf, these black, shiny-looking fruit are hanging like some cursed black pearls. Turns out that insane, soul-snatching smell from earlier, yeah, it's coming straight from this creepy-ass plant. But looking at those oily black berries, bro is low-key terrified to even take a bite. Let's be real, last time he was in the mountains, he ate some random mystery berries, and his stomach felt like it was doing a speed run to the afterlife. Bro almost caught a one-way ticket to see the Grim Reaper Ephra. That trauma, it's locked in his brain forever, never forgetting that one. But he's actually starving, like his stomach is literally glued to his spine at this point. The only thought left in his brain, starving versus getting poisoned. What's the difference? I'm cooked either way. Screw it. We ball. He grits his teeth and reaches out to snag one of those blackberries. Suddenly, out of nowhere, this weird ghostly voice echoes in his ear. Don't eat me, bro. Seriously, don't eat me. Our boy jumps back like he just touched a live wire, shaking and screams, "Who the hell is talking?" Silence, dead quiet, just the echo of his own voice. He forces himself to chill, staring right back at that creepy plant. Is this just hallucinations? Am I losing it? He reaches out to grab the fruit again, and don't eat me. The voice hits again. His heart dropped into his boots. Bro is officially shook. A plant talking? Is this for a legendary spirit flower or something? He gathers his last bit of courage, voice trembling. Hey, are you a flower demon? Something like that. Look, you look like you're about to fold any second. Go to that cupboard on the cliff wall over there and find the yellow jade bottle. The pills inside, you can actually eat those. As soon as he hears food, his legs, which were ready to sprint away, literally stopped in their tracks. He drags his tired self over to the wall, and lo and behold, there's the yellow jade bottle. The second he pops the cap, the smell of premium medicine hits his nose. Just sniffing it makes his stomach feel way less dead. Bro was still sus at first, but finally the hesitation is gone. Bro stopped tweaking and made a move. He quickly dumped out a tiny light yellow pill and straight up raw dogged that thing down his throat. The pill had zero flavor, but the second it hit his stomach, a wave of warmth went straight through his entire system. The starvation mode was cancelled immediately, and his mental stats got a massive buff. Yo, what the actual sigma is this cheat code pill? That is straight up cracked. You literally couldn't help but fanboy over it. That's a hunger blocker pill. One hit and you're good for 10 days without food. Hua Yao explained. Your heart started doing backflips, and you immediately locked the name hunger blocker pill into your core memory, then casually shoved the whole jade bottle into your shirt like a true loot goblin. Never leave the lobby empty-handed, am I right? This loot is S tier. So what about these other bottles? You pointed at the 3 remaining jars, eyes gleaming with pure greed. Some are for leveling up your base stats, others are for healing, but the stocks are looking pretty low. That one's for external injuries. As soon as you heard that, you were speedrunning to get it. Your waist was still hurting like crazy. The blue bottle, that's the one. You snatched the blue jade bottle, dumped out a glowing blue pill, and downed it. In less than a minute, your waist felt like it was hit with a heating pad. The pain dipped. This stuff is legit magic. Your soot-covered skinny face was glowing with hype. You looked at the stash on the cliff like a starving wolf eyeing a feast. Since you're the one who stumbled into this L lobby, all this loot is yours now. Those 3 scrolls, 2 are cultivation cheat codes, and the black one is a treasure map. If you want to start grinding, learn the purple origin technique. Purple origin technique? You were low-key dizzy hearing that, but cultivation was a word you actually recognized. Back in the day, Grandpa said that immortals could fly through the sky and dive into the earth. They were basically built different. You might be illiterate, but your brain is wired for success. You pointed at the dried-up skeleton in the corner and asked, is that guy one of those immortals? He's not a true immortal, just a mid-tier cultivator. He cooked all these pills himself. If you decide to become a cultivator, you could be crafting your own gear too. You want in? Suddenly, the flower demon's voice turned extra sus, dripping with that come-hither energy. Bro, your heart started pounding out of your chest like a drum solo. You're thinking, is this my glow-up? Is my luck finally changing? If I become a legit immortal, I can finally clap back at my grandpa's enemies and settle that score. No more starving and no more getting treated like a stray dog by the Yang Hu family. They're honestly bottom-tier trash. You're locked in now, desperate for the sauce, and you shout, tell me, what do I gotta do? How do I become a cultivator? Easy, just listen to me and do exactly what I say, she purrs. The flower demon sounds low-key hyped. She's practically buzzing. By the way, what's your name? It's Yang Ming. Bet. Yang Ming, bring that Xeon manual over here. I'm gonna show you how to cook with it. You scratch your head, looking a little embarrassed. Bad news, I'm illiterate, fam. You can't read? A bit annoying, but whatever, that's not a game ender. She tells you to drag all 3 ancient scrolls over. You spread them out in front of her like a total noob. That first one on the right is the Ziyun technique. It's got pictures, and I'll read it out for you. Just follow the diagrams and start grinding. You sit cross-legged, looking completely lost. Bro, the next few days were pure torture. Just trying to figure out where your own meridians and pressure points are took you like 4 days. Pure skill issue. And when she started yapping about sensing spiritual energy and refining the Dantian, your brain literally went into shutdown mode. It was hype, sure, but mostly just confusing as hell. You were sitting there like a confused NPC, not understanding a single word. 7 days go by in a blink, and you pop another hunger suppressant pill to keep from starving. Yo Yang Ming, what's the status? You feel that energy in your Dantian yet? The flower demon asks, clearly losing her patience. You shake your head, looking defeated. Nah, nothing yet. Flower demon, am I just straight up stupid, or what? You're feeling insecure, low-key terrified that you don't have the main character energy to actually make it. She sighs, feeling the struggle, and suddenly asks, check your inventory, how many pills you got left? You dump them out and count. Including the one you just ate, you've only got 6 left. Bro is speedrunning his own L, you've only got like Look bro, trying to hit level 1 in 70 days solo? Yeah, that's literally impossible, stop capping. The flower demon's voice was giving Major I'm losing my mind energy, total frustration. You didn't even respond. That tiny spark of hope you had? Yeah, it just hit the delete button. All that was left was soul-crushing despair, enough hatred to fuel a villain arc. Like, what even is this logic? God, why you gotta do me like that? What's the motive? The cave was silent, deeper than your hopes and dreams. After a hot minute, the flower demon spoke up again, sounding low-key tragic and helpless. Yang Ming, listen. Go pick that fruit on the very top of my head and eat it. And pro tip, only eat one, seriously. With your current stats? If you try to down a second one, you're literally gonna explode. Like, game over, body parts everywhere. You were so down bad, you just believed it instantly. You snatched that black fruit from the top and swallowed it in one go. Tastes kind of imid, but whatever you thought. That was your first thought. But the very next second, the pain hit different. It was bone-chilling agony, fam. Like 10,000 ants were gnawing on your skeleton and drilling straight into your marrow. You let out a scream that sounded like a broken mic. You hit the floor, twitching like you were having a seizure. Your veins felt like they were being stuffed with hot iron rods by force. It was so tight you felt like your skin was about to pop. You were blacking out every 2 seconds from the sheer pain. But that years-long trauma from getting clapped by Yanghu, it just clicked into survival mode. You bit down on your teeth until they cracked, swallowed your own blood, and forced yourself to stay conscious. Absolute gigachad energy. An hour later, the pain finally dipped like a receding tide. You started coming back to life, feeling surprisingly cracked and refreshed. You sat up but realized you were covered in this nasty, stinking layer of black sludge, legit biohazard levels of gross. You found an underground river deep in the cave. Go wash that trash off, bro. The flower demon's voice echoed. It was actually low-key impressed by your willpower. You followed the sound of the water, mind feeling sharper than a high-end gaming monitor. You hopped in, scrubbed up, and realized all those hidden bruises from Yanghu's bullying were basically gone. Built different. You were feeling major gratitude towards the flower demon now. You walked back in your wet clothes, ready to grind. Get back to training, it said. This time it's gonna be light work. The flower demon sounded hyped for you. And no cap, you started practicing the purple origin art, and it was like you had aimbot enabled. You were absolutely cooking. All that confusing, cryptic garbage from before, suddenly it's hitting different. It's clicking, fam. Just like that, after 2 months of that grind set, you're down to your last magic pill. But boom, you finally maxed out level 1 of the purple origin technique. We're in the game now. You're hyped, ready to flex the news to the flower spirit, but the second you open your eyes, yo, what is that? A faint green orb of light just eats itself out of that flower bush. You're literally still buffering, and before you can even say bruh, that green aura teleports straight into your forehead. Gong, your brain feels like it just got hit by a truck, and then you're straight up unconscious. Total blackout. Then you're in this fever dream, and let me tell you, it's absolute chaos. In this dream, you're a black orb, basically the size of a fist. No cap, just a floating ball. Suddenly, this massive green orb, 3 times your size, tries to pull up and start beef, mouth wide open, ready to snack on you. But you? You're built different. You don't take L's, so you counterattack and start throwing hands, or bites, I guess. It might be bigger, but you've got that dog in you. You're way more vicious and unhinged. The scrap of the century is officially live. You start popping off, going full berserk, and suddenly, you're the one holding the W. That green fraud is shook, trying to dash, but you've got one thing on your mind. Extermination? No way you're letting that NPC slide. With pure spite and willpower, you manifest a literal cage of lightning out of thin air. Absolute gigachad energy. You're feeling yourself now. You pounce, absolutely devour that thing, and leave 0 crumbs. Clean sweep. Fast forward, you wake up, and you're feeling like you just went 5 rounds in the octagon. Your whole body is nerfed, and your brain is lagging hard. You remember that fever dream and realize, wait, that green orb was definitely not a vibe. Flower spirit, you whisper. No response. Your heart just dropped to the floor. Cold. You force yourself up, and man, that weird flower bush is looking straight up toasted. Dead. The 6 other fruits? Shriveled up. Trash. Flower spirit, you scream, but the cave is silent. It's over. It hits you that green orb was the flower spirit all along. The whole time it was plotting. It was trying to body snatch you, bro. Why? Why? That hit different. It's like getting backstabbed in the worst way possible. You were out here treating this thing like a mentor, and it was just playing you like a budget NPC, a total pawn it could delete whenever. You sit there in a daze for a minute, then your eyes go cold. The villain arc starts now. You get up and start sweeping the cave for loot. You got some weird energy in your dantian now, but your stats barely moved. Weak. Is this even cultivation at this point, or are you just failing upwards? The flower spirit is dusted, and you're still illiterate. The purple origin technique locked. No way to progress. You make a vow. The second you step out of this hole, step 1 is learning how to read. No more being a clueless fraud. You walk up to the dusty skeleton and give it a little poke. Bro really just turned into dust and ashes instantly. Talk about brittle bones. Hey, you find a secret stash where the homie was sitting. It's wide open, baby. Inside, there's a white jade slip and a square box the size of your hand. The jade slip looks like a skill issue for now, but you crack open the box, and it's packed with tiny needles, a bit thicker than sewing needles. They're low-key glowing with some mysterious drip. Nothing else left to loot, so that's a wrap. You grab the 3 dusty manuals, a black scroll, 4 jade vials, the slip, and the needle box, wrapping it all up in some rags like you're carrying the family jewels. One last look at that dead-as-hell plant, and you bounce, following the underground river to find the exit. After navigating that whole maze, you finally step out of the Van Mong Mountains. Looking up at the clear blue sky, you're suddenly feeling kinda lost on NGL. Should you head to town and learn to read or what? But wait, you're broke as hell, 0 spirit stones to your name. Walking around with all this high-tier loot in your shirt? If you get caught, you're literally speed-running your own obituary. Back to Yang Village? You've been ghosting everyone for 2 months. That clown Young Hu is definitely gonna be pressed and start asking questions. After a quick think, you decide to sneak back to the village, low-key prepare, and look for an exit strategy. You wait until dark to bury your stash in some random field, then creep back into the village solo. You're not even close to your trashy shack yet, and you hear a dog barking. Seriously? Yonghu's dog? Yonghu walks out swinging a shiny axe like he's the main character. It's me, you say, giving him that I'm dead inside stare. Yonghu stops dead in his tracks and goes, WTF, you're actually still alive? Where the hell have you been hiding for 2 months? I thought you were dead in a ditch somewhere, kid. He's talking like you're just some trash NPC he couldn't care less about. You're too tired for his drama, so you just walk past him into your shack and pass out on the wooden planks. He scoffs, at least you're not dead. Now I can Yonghu stares at your back, lets out a salty huff, and dips back to his house. The next few days, you're playing it cool, keeping your head down and not giving the ops a single reason to sweat. But one night, deep in the shadows, you creep out to retrieve your stash hidden inside the cracked mud wall. Weirdly enough, ever since you got back, Yonghu's been acting sus, literally bringing you food every single day. On the 5th day, you wake up to find some random scary-looking dude standing at Yonghu's place. Major red flag. Yonghu spots you and flashes that greasy fake smile of his. Yang Ming, get over here. Your eye twitches, but you keep your composure, walking up to him with a gaze cold enough to freeze hell. Yonghu, this kid is a total twig. Can he even do any real work? The bearded musclehead asks, looking unimpressed. Manager Zhao, he's built different, I swear. This kid's got a solid frame. He's definitely got the gains for it. Yonghu starts glazing him like his life depends on it. Fine, let's bounce then. The bearded dude points a finger right at you. Follow me. You're standing there confused as hell, brain completely lagging. Suddenly, Yonghu pulls a paper out of his shirt, waves it in your face with a snake-like grin, and says, Yang Ming, this is Manager Zhao he's hiring. I already signed the contract for you, bro. You're heading to the Jinshan mine, 2 silver taels a month. Consider this a legit gig, honestly. I've done my part for your late grandpa, so we're square. You're grinding your teeth so hard it hurts. You'd deck this fake-ass loser if you could. He knows you're illiterate. Who knows what kind of scam is written on that paper? You look over at Manager Zhao, clinging to a tiny shred of hope. Manager Zhao, what exactly does this paper say? Manager Zhao side-eyes Yang Hu for a sec and says nonchalantly it's a standard labor contract. You head to the Jinshan mine, work for 3 years, and you get 2 silver taels a month. You think to yourself, maybe leaving this hellhole to mine isn't the worst move. I can earn some cash and learn to read on the side. Not bad. Since Manager Zhao said it himself, you're still suspicious, but you got 0 drip to pack anyway. So you just wrap your cave loot in a rag and call it a day, then hop on the carriage with Manager Zhao parked outside the village. As soon as you climb in, you realize the cart is packed with other broke kids just like you. After 4 or 5 days of being tossed around like a salad on that bumpy ride, you finally hit a mining camp deep in the mountains. Everybody out. Move it. With a massive shout, he literally flips the carriage over. This Manager Zhao dude, who was acting all nice guy a few days ago. Total mask-off moment. He's a completely different person now. He pulls out a menacing black whip and starts swinging it around like a maniac, aiming right for you guys. Yo, Manager Zhao, why are you out here catching feelings and throwing hands? One of the kids screams, totally confused. Your gut feeling is hitting an all-time low. Something is seriously cursed about this place. Catching hands, you say? Heh, cute. I paid cold hard cash for you losers. You're my property now. I feel like hitting you, I hit you. I feel like roasting you, I roast you. Simple math. Manager Zhao spits on the ground, looking like an absolute trash-tier villain. Hulai Yang Ming Mengran Zhonggulu Song. You 5 are officially my mind slaves. Welcome to the grind. Try catching an attitude or disobeying me, and if you get clapped, that's on you. Skill issue. I want to go home. Little Meng Ran is straight up sobbing, trying to make a break for it. A massive, roided-out goon kicks him right in the stomach. Meng Ran goes flying like a kite with a snapped string, slams into twitches like a laggy NPC, blood trickling from his mouth before he goes completely limp. In a split second, everyone else is frozen, ghost white, and traumatized. Your hands are balled into fists, realizing Yang Hu literally sold you out to be a slave. The rage in your chest is at 100% ready to explode, but seeing Meng Ran get bodied is a harsh reminder. Don't be a hero. Don't be impulsive. Right then and there, you lock your emotions down completely. You start staring at this cold, messed up world with dead eyes. And your mental state? It just hit a permanent upgrade. We're in survival mode now. So after Meng Ran gets dragged off, the four of us get dumped into this straight-up mid-wooden shack. While the coast is clear, I slide that ancient scroll right into my shirt. Sneak 100. The jade slip in the metal box stashed away too. Gotta keep the loot secure. Only the 4 jade bottles are too bulky. Had to leave those in the clothing bundle. I sit down, hit the meditation pose, and run a cycle of the purple origin technique. Boom, fatigue gone. My Dantian energy just got a massive level up. We cooking. Suddenly, the door kicks open and this skinny, yellow-faced dude strolls in. Wakey, wakey, losers. Time to go get your tools, he barks. We follow him to this stone building where some hunched-over old man is chilling by the door. Man looks like he's one gust of wind away from meeting his ancestors. This is Old Wei, he handles the gear, the skinny guy says. Follow me inside, he adds. Old Wei lets out a nasty cough and stands up, sounding like a broken engine. We each get handed a crowbar, a stone chisel, and a heavy-duty pickaxe. The weight is real. I look over at Lu Song, and the kid is literally struggling to even lift his tools. I'm thinking, great, I'm about to look like an L-taker lifting this stuff too. Plot twist. I pick it up like it's a feather. My strength just got a major buff. I realize I'm moving a bit too different, so I immediately start acting like a total NPC, struggling for show. But Old Wei's eyes, he's staring right at me. That cloudy old man glare just flashed with something sharp, he knows. What's your name? Old Wei asks, deadass staring into my soul. I'm Yang Ming. Old Wei nods, turns to the skinny guy and says, I'm getting old, need an assistant. Keep this kid, Yang Ming, here with me. The skinny guy's face turns green with envy, but he immediately starts bowing and scraping. If Old Wei wants it, it's a done deal. He winks at me and whispers, bro, you just hit the jackpot. Thank the old man already. I have no idea what's going on, but I know for sure I don't have to go digging in the mines anymore. I quickly play the part and bow. Old Wei looks me up and down. Yang Ming, I'm keeping you here. But don't think this is a vacation. The work is still hell. One condition though, starting tomorrow, every single day before sunrise, you're doing a full lap around the mines. Missed the deadline? No breakfast, no lunch. Straight starving. Can't handle the heat? Running laps around the mountain in exchange for learning how to read and not getting sent to the mines? Since you were always hiding out around Dragon Gazing Mountain, you were crazy confident in your stamina stats. I accept. You instantly agreed to Old Wei's offer without even hesitating. Take this. Old Wei tossed you a tiny book. These are the rules for the tools and equipment. Memorize it. You grabbed it looking completely confused. Old Wei, I can't read. Old Wei looked completely unsurprised by that revelation. Doesn't matter. Do your work properly, and I'll teach you. Bro, you were instantly over the moon. Wasn't it exactly what you'd been dreaming of this whole time? But after getting backstabbed by Hua Yao and Yang Hu, you'd learned the hard way to stay on guard. You went back to your wooden shack, grabbed your clothes bundle, and moved into the storage room behind the tool house. A few days later, you realized something. Nah, you were actually way too naive. This mining area was absurdly huge. There was no way you could run around the entire place. Your breakfast and lunch breaks basically got deleted from existence. But Old Wei actually kept his word and started teaching you how to read, beginning with that little book. What shocked you even more was that your learning ability had become absolutely busted. It was so insane, it scared even you. One glance and boom, you remembered everything. You immediately thought about that mysterious black fruit. Looks like that thing really did give you a massive stat boost and changed your talent. A few days later, Supervisor Zhao came charging in, absolutely fuming. Old Wei, what is the meaning of this? Yang Ming is a slave I paid good money for. Zhao Ming's face darkened as he roared in rage. Old Wei casually asked, how much silver? Bring me the contract. I'll pay you back. Wei Yongzhen. Everyone else might be scared of you, but I, Zhao Ming, am not. Zhao Ming sneered. My nephew is a core disciple in the inner sect of Wu sect. You're just a washed-up old man who got exiled here after screwing up big time. And now you want to steal my mining slave? Yeah, not happening, buddy. But then something crazy happened. Old Wei, who had been hunched over this whole time, suddenly stood up straight. A cold light flashed across his eyes. In a hoarse voice, he said, Zhao Ming, I'm keeping Yang Ming. That's final. If you've got a problem with it, tell that nephew of yours to come get him himself. I'd also like to see whether an outer sect elder who fell from grace still carries any weight at all in Wu sect, or if these people think I'm completely washed. Zhao Ming's face went straight up liver-colored, looking like he was about to pop a blood vessel. Bro really didn't expect Old Wei to pull a no-cap moment and stand his ground. I mean, it's just a random mind slave, nobody cares, right? But now Zhao Ming is officially cooked with zero-exit strategy. Fine, just you wait. He spat out a toxic L-take, tucked his tail between his legs, and dipped. You watched the whole thing with zero chill, then hit him with the Old Wei. You sure this isn't gonna bring you major heat? He's just some small fry fraud riding his uncle's clout to act tough. I'm not down bad enough to get bullied by some mid-tier disciple, he flexed. Old Wei scoffed, instantly reverting to his dying candle in the wind NPC aesthetic. Inner sect, outer sect, sect elders. These terms hit you like a lore drop, finally making this world make sense. But let's be real, your main quest right now is just learning to read so you can decode those ancient cheat codes and start your main character grind. Fast forward 2 months, we are moving at light speed now. Zhao Ming hasn't been seen since you've leveled up your literacy, and you're basically a local expert on this sect's vibes. You're finally understanding how this entire operation works. At the crack of dawn, you bounced out of your stone shack and started your daily cardio around the Shishan mine. Once you hit a spot where the NPCs couldn't see you, you did a 360 check, went full stealth mode, and dipped into a hidden, abandoned mine tunnel. You crawled deep, reaching into a crack to pull out a crusty, yellowed ancient scroll. To keep your inventory secure, you've been using your morning run as a front, stashing your loot from that secret hideout across multiple random mines. Big brain moves only. The book you're holding? Not the Zuan technique, but an alchemy compendium. It's got the tea on rare herbs, top-tier recipes, and the secret sauce on how to brew actual power-ups. Your reading comprehension is still mid-tier, so you're skimming through it like a speedrunner. But thanks to this manual, you finally know what those 4 bottles of magic pills actually do. The blue jade bottle? That's 4 essence pills, basically instant healing for your battle scars. The green one is clear heart pill, the ultimate anti-venom for your toxic situations. And the white bottle? That's 8 treasures pill, straight up XP steroids. But hold your horses, you can't touch that until you hit chi condensation stage 3. You locked in for a bit, then scurried off to another hidden tunnel. This one held the other cheat code, Chaos Heaven and Earth technique. This thing is built different compared to the Zuan stuff. Based on your limited brain power, this looks like a hardcore gym bro manual for body cultivation. The weirdest part? Only the first few pages have text, the rest is just blank paper. Sus. You were reading that thing like you were dying of thirst, grinding out every character until you were completely zoned out and lost track of time. This cheat code is all about speedrunning body cultivation by soaking up spirit energy to buff your skin, bones, and muscles, plus it requires some premium P2W ingredients. Bro, the vibes are so immaculate, you're feeling the adrenaline dump just looking at it. You're literally autopiloting into a meditation stance, straight up grinding the technique. You snap back to reality, and it's already dark outside. You're like, oh shoot, hide the manual, and dash out of there like your life depends on it. You get back to the stone hut and notice Old Man Wei is looking hella salty. You're ready to drop some top-tier excuses, but he just hits you with the deadpan delivery. You took way too long, don't let it happen again. For the next few days, you're hitting personal bests on your cardio, literally just to farm extra free time to lab out those alchemy notes and the chaos technique. But since you're trying to dual-spec these 2 techniques, your spirit energy is split, and your progression is currently moving like an NPC in a loading screen. Even so, you're low-key obsessed with this chaos technique, and honestly, it's vibing way harder than the purple origin technique. Half a year just vanishes into thin air like that. You've been stuck in the Gazin mountain mines for 6 months straight, and you finally leveled up the purple origin technique to tier 2. You hit the second stage of chi refining and boom, you can finally actually read the whole manual. You finally realize that energy chilling in your Dantian isn't just vibes, it's called mana. The back of the book has some entry-level spells, but it's high-key complicated and you're absolutely clueless on how to cast them. It's dusk, you've finished your meal, and you're ready to dive back into the chaos grind. Suddenly, Old Man Wei just rolls up. Yang Ming, how do you think I've treated you these past 6 months? He drops the question out of nowhere. You're caught off guard, confused as to what his endgame is, but you play it safe. Old Man Wei, you've been a real one. He looks low-key satisfied, clears his throat, and keeps it 100. You're probably wondering, why I had you running laps for half a year, right? Yeah, I've been suspicious as hell. Your eye starts twitching. Yang Ming, let me stop beating around the bush. I only bulked you up to make you my personal lab rat for drug testing. Wait, a human guinea pig? You heard me right. I used to be the Poison Hall elder of the Wu sect, but I messed up a detox serum. The young miss got disfigured, and the sect leader demoted me to this trash heap. Old Man Wei lets out a head. For years, I've been cooking up this detox formula, and honestly, it's finally starting to slap. So I figured I'd just grab one of you mind slaves to be my test dummy. Your face immediately goes dark, and your fists start clenching up on their own. So you want me to chug your poison and then take your antidote? Is that it? Basically. It's not straight up drinking it, though. You're gonna soak in a toxic bath, and I'll be controlling the dosage. Trust, your life isn't actually on the line here. Seeing you looking salty, he pauses and adds, agree to this and I'll personally hook you up with a spot in the intersect. Refuse and you're back to digging holes for the rest of your life. And just so you know, that clown Zhao Ming is probably going to take all his anger out on your skull. You let out a cold laugh inside. The reality of the situation just hit different. Besides your grandpa, nobody in this world is ever for no reason for. Luckily, you've got that heart-cleansing pill to deal with any toxic shenanigans, so you do a quick mental check and decide to play along with Old Man Wei. I'll be your test subject, but I've got 2 conditions. Spit it out. First, I'm doing this toxic soak right here in this spot. Second, I need you to teach me some actual moves. The old man is low-key shook, but he finally agrees. He drags over a massive wooden barrel, fills it with water, and starts dumping in all sorts of shady toxic chemicals. Not even a second later, the water turns a toxic neon green and starts reeking like absolute trash. You don't even blink, strip down, and just hop in like it's a spa day. Immediately, your skin starts feeling like 1,000 needles are stabbing you. It's getting worse by the second, like a swarm of snakes are trying to snack on you. A bit later, the pain shifts into this nasty, weird itch, and black wisps of aura start rising off your face. Old Man Wei is watching you like a total maniac, dumps another bag of poison in and tosses you a pill. Here's the antidote, swallow it, quick. After you down the pill, the black aura fades for a second, but it's barely a flex before it starts getting heavy again. Alright, let's call it a day. The old man finally gives up, looking kinda salty himself. As you step out of the barrel and he's about to haul that toxic mess away. Hey, Old Man Wei, just leave that poison with me. I'll go find an abandoned mine shaft and dump it myself. He doesn't even think twice, probably just thinks you're weird for wanting to handle it. He drops one more antidote pill, gives you a quick rundown on when to take it, and dips. The second he's out of sight, you jump right back into that toxic barrel and start cranking your heaven and earth chaos technique. Let him cook. It's actually working. After soaking in that toxic soup, you realize the poison is doing some wild stuff to your skin. Like, it's actually buffing you. An hour later, that toxic sludge in the barrel turned crystal clear. Bro, where'd it go? To keep Old Man Wei from getting sus, you kept a little bit of that poison in your system. Big brain move. You stand up and feel the gains. You're literally buzzing inside. Your skin and muscles are feeling tanky and durable as hell. For the next 2 months, you kept running the same hustle, using the leftover toxic water to secretly get swole. Old Man Wei is absolutely vibing with how obedient you are. In a rare good mood, the old Ung actually taught you some basic hands and a toxic strike technique. Before you knew it, you'd been stuck in this trash mountain mine for almost a year. You're 13 now, and you've had a major glow-up. You're way taller, and your face is giving main character energy. You've basically mastered the Origin Manual and the Alchemy Handbook. Only the Heaven and Earth Chaos art remains a total skill issue. That thing is impossible to read. Since you're grinding 2 manuals at once, your cultivation speed is suffering. It's mid at best. You're still light years away from reaching level 3 chi refining. It's looking bleak, fam. So you pivot your strat. Full focus on the Origin Manual. Gotta break that limit ASAP. You need that bag of 8 treasures pill. Late at night in the abandoned mine, you're staring at the Alchemy Handbook like it's your ticket to the top. You finally figured out that 7-leaf grass you found? That's the 9-leaf sun-turning herb, a straight-up legendary plant. Rare W. Even if it dries up, as long as the roots are alive, you can bring it back to life. You're itching to yeet yourself back to that cave and farm it. You've been wanting to ghost this hellhole for a minute now, but the only exit is guarded by an elite from the Black Sect. Since you haven't learned a single real spell yet, relying on the mid-tier karate Old Man Wei taught you, there is literally 0 chance you're making it out alive. Your best hope is the ice sword art, but you're making 0 progress on it. You gotta find another way to clap back. You pull that white jade slip and the box of needles out from the rock crevice. Like, what even are these? You asked Old Man Wei, and he thinks they're just hidden weapons. Too bad the old geezer took the secret to his grave. He refused to teach you, saying it's forbidden Black Sect tech. Talk about gatekeeping. You're flipping the jade slip, even biting it, but you've got nothing. You want to smash it to see what's inside, but that's a massive L waiting to happen if you break it. You end up giving up and hiding the loot before heading back to your stone hut. Stay humble, grind on. Yo, some beef is going down in the distance, and it's coming straight from Old Way's crib. Your heart starts pounding. You pull a solid snake, creeping up on them only to see some random guy in a full blue fit, mask and all, absolutely pressed with Old Way. Old Way is getting folded, looking like he's about to catch an L when suddenly, shing! He fires off some cold-looking projectiles from his sleeves. Clang, clang. The blue suit guy whips out a hook blade and deflects the ammo like it's nothing. You're shook because you can actually track Old Way's movements in real time. You're low-key geeked, mentally downloading his secret projectile technique like a pro gamer. Damn, Feng Shu is moving mad brave right now. Old Way clearly recognizes this clown. The guy in blue dodges another wave of Old Way's aimbot spam and swings his hook, aiming straight for a critical headshot. But in a split-second flash, Old Way drops the frail old man axe. He glides like a straight-up ghost, dodges the hook, and fires a point-blank counterattack. Slash, the blue guy gets clipped. It's a poisoned blade, too. He lets out a salty curse, turns around, and disappears into the woods like a coward. Just then, 2 more geezers pull up from the mine entrance. Yo, Old Way, what's the move? It's Feng Shu from Emerald Pavilion. He's poisoned, he won't get far. Chase him down and finish him, no witnesses. The dude named Jia waves his hand, and they head into the mountains. You're holding your breath, hiding in the shadows, waiting for Old Way to bounce back inside before you ghost out of there. Wait a minute, if that Feng Shu guy runs into the cave where I hid my loot, I'm legit cooked. Your stomach drops. You start sprinting toward your treasure stash like your life depends on it. Before you even get close, you hear voices inside. You hide by the entrance, ears perked, eavesdropping on the tea. Feng Shu, you absolute trash. You couldn't even bag a kill on a fossil who's half dead? You cringe. Isn't that the same voice as the geezer who was just talking to Old Way? Jia Yunji, don't talk down to me. Didn't you say Old Way's cultivation was already nerfed? Feng Shu wheezes out, relax. Didn't I already give you the antidote? Jia Yunji replies with 0 chill, kill Wei Yingjin within 3 days, and your pay doubles. 3 days? That's speedrunning the mission way too hard. Yo, word on the street is Wei Yongjin found a test dummy and finally cooked up the perfect antidote. If he makes a comeback now, my poison game is going to be totally irrelevant. Let's dip. Jia Yunji says the line and bounces toward the cave entrance. You've got no choice but to back off and hide in the shadows. Once the coast is clear, you're staring at that cave entrance like your life depends on it, straight up stressed. Bruh, of course, the one thing you're scared of happens immediately. You grit your teeth and sneak into the mine like a ninja. You know this place like the back of your hand, so you find the perfect stealth spot. Peeking through a crack, you see Feng Shu has finally unmasked himself, and yo, he's got a massive gash on his cheek, straight to the bone nasty. He's looking pale as a ghost. The poison is still definitely hitting him hard. He's throwing a total tantrum, kicking rocks everywhere. Wait a sec, you realize you can see his face clearly even in this dark as hell cave. Just as you're processing that, you hear a rustle and boom, a bright white flash streaks by. A jade slip. Shu's voice is shaking, sounding completely shook. He accidentally kicks the pile of rocks where you're hiding. You're like, ah trash, we're cooked, and you're about to jump out and scrap. But the second you hear jade slip, you hit the brakes real quick. A jade slip? He actually knows what it is. Feng Shu grabs the piece of jade looking hyped as hell. He hesitates for a split second, then smacks that thing right onto his forehead. Your brain goes buzzing, an absolute wave of adrenaline hits you. Oh, so you gotta slap it on your forehead to use it? Bet. Hahaha, it's actually an immortal's treasure just for me. Even as an old man, I'm still hitting those massive W's. Feng Shu is laughing and crying like a total maniac. There is zero chance you're letting that loot stay in his hands. You launch yourself like a straight-up jump scare, going for a sneaky heart shot combo. Oof, Feng Shu has been in these streets forever. He's got gamer reflexes. He twists midair and sends a kick straight at your wrist. Your eyes turn cold, you switch from a claw to a fist and go for a raw, heavy-hitting trade. Your fist feels like it's about to shatter from the impact, so you instantly disengage, grabbing a hidden box of needles from the rubble while you're at it. Who the hell are you? Feng Shu is poisoned and can't even use his chi without dying, but his injuries are getting worse by the second. Absolute L. You aren't wasting any time. You pop the box open and start mimicking Old Man Wei's moves like a pro. You flick a handful of needles into the dark, silent, deadly. Feng Shu instinctively backs up, panicked. Suddenly, he gets hit with a sharp pain in his thigh. Feels like he just took a piercing crit. Bro tries to book it, sprinting out of the shop like he's running a marathon. But nah, he didn't get far. His legs turn to jelly and he face plants into the dirt. You see the opening, pull the trigger, and a whole volley of needles buries itself in his back. Absolute violation. You grab a massive rock and bonk, smash it straight into the back of his head. Rip to this clown. He died without even seeing your face. Dude was genuinely confused, speedrunning his own funeral. It's your first time taking someone out, and your stomach is doing backflips. Took you a hot minute to stop shaking. You grab his jade slip, press it to your forehead, and bam, your brain gets flooded with info. You're literally seeing stars. You're shook. The jade slip is holding a legendary cheat code called the Taishuan Light Guiding Formation. Turns out those needles in the box, that's a top-tier legendary artifact set called Flying Fire Flowing Sentiment. We're talking 360 flying needles that can create both a trapping zone and a kill zone. OP as hell. You were out here using these like basic throwing knives? Bro, that's actually comedy. You pump some mana into the box, the meteor box, to test the vibe. Sure enough, every needle in the area, including the ones inside the dead guy, zooms right back into the box like a magnet. You grab one needle, pump it with mana, and it's vibrating in your palm like a phone on silent mode. You mimic Old Man Wei's technique and let it rip. A flash of shadow, and the needle pierces deep into the rock wall clean. Mana, spells, artifacts. Everything is finally clicking in your head. You try to set up a formation, but well, major skill issue, you failed. Your cultivation is still bottom tier. Your spirit sense and mana are too weak to control even 36 basic needles. Regardless, tonight was a W, you're absolutely buzzing. You stuff the loot into your robes and dip. Morning is coming, so you head back to your stone hut, debating if you should snitch on Jiayunji to Old Man Wei. Nah, you decide to stay quiet. Old Man Wei never liked you anyway. Testing his poison was just you paying off your debt. If you didn't have that clear heart pill, you'd have been a crippled NPC a long time ago. For the next month, you're out in the forest every night grinding those needle skills. Meanwhile, Old Man Wei keeps getting jumped. Tried to get murked 2 more times. Bro is down bad. Every attempt on his life is getting even more unhinged, bro. Old Man barely pushed the assassin back, but he's basically cooked, severely injured. And you were just lurking in the shadows watching the whole scene like a true menace, not lifting a finger. So you pull up to Old Wei's bedside today. He's looking rough, man. Bro's HP is hitting 0. He's definitely not making it. Yang Ming, he rasps. I promised I'd get you into the Wu sect. He trembles and pulls out 2 letters. Take these to the young Miss Wu Qingxuan. She'll take you in. You take the letters, staying silent. Man, even as a kid you're playing 4D chess. He's genuinely impressed by how deep your game is. Old Wei gives a bitter smile. 1 letter gets you into the sect, and the other is the antidote recipe. If the Wu sect acts like clowns and won't take you, then don't you dare give that recipe to them. Your eyes widen. Damn, that's cold. I was gonna make you my apprentice, but... He starts coughing his lungs out before he can finish, tossing you a massive book on poisons instead. That's my entire life's work right there. If you're vibing with it, learn it. If not, just find me a successor, right? You take the poison manual and give him a solemn nod. If the chance arises, you'll definitely find someone to carry on his legacy. Old Wei smiles, closes his eyes, and officially logs off. Rest in peace, Unc. You give him a cold, respectful bow, turn around, and dip out of that stone hut. Time to go pay Zhao Ming a little visit and settle the score. You slide up to the mine shaft. Looking at those miners, gray-faced, looking like absolute L-takers, You start thinking back to when you were in their shoes. If you hadn't gotten lucky, your ending would have been way more tragic than theirs. Daring to slack off, huh? I'll literally beat the life out of you. A shouting match and the sound of a whip cracking echo from inside the mine. You go to check it out, and who's getting clapped? It's Meng Ran. Haven't seen him in over a year, and he's nothing but skin and bones. His eyes are completely dead inside. Standing next to him trying to beg for mercy is Hu Lai. The dude with the whip is just a low-tier NPC minion working for Zhao Ming. Li the Limp sees Hu Lai running his mouth and immediately lashes out with the whip. You step in to help Meng Ran up, but out of nowhere Hu Lai shoves you back and drags Meng Ran away. You're left standing there like Kamenk. Only then do you realize these two are looking at you with actual hostility. Lai thought was shook and started yapping. Take me to see Zhao Ming, right now. Bro acting all cold, basically like, who do you think you are? Zhao Ming isn't some NPC you can just walk up to, you're just a low-level mind slave, know your place. Lai thought didn't even get to finish his sentence before he was screaming for his life. Our boy just whipped out a flying flame needle and boom, drilled it straight into his only good leg. Take me to Zhao Ming or I'm sending you to the lobby. Our MC didn't even blink, already loading up another needle. Pull that thing out and take me to him, or you're cooked. Lai thought was sweating buckets, literally begging for mercy while screaming for the needle to be removed. Man really learned his lesson. He ain't ever disrespecting our boy again. He's limping now, speedrunning the walk to Zhao Ming's spot. Zhao Ming is living the dream, getting pampered by two maids and stuffing his face, greasy af. The hell, Lai thought, what kind of clown show are you pulling? He saw the MC and sneered. What are you even doing here, trash? Hand over my Yanghu contract. Give it back. Give it back to you? You crazy? You think I paid cold hard cash for that just to give it away for free? Who do you think you are? Zhao Ming started laughing like he was the main villain of the arc. Guess we're doing this the hard way then. As soon as the words left his mouth, MC flicked his wrist and swish, needles went straight through Lai Thought's forehead. Permanent logout. Zhao Ming's face went pale, panicked as he shoved the table right at the MC. Our boy didn't even flinch. The table hit him and turned into literal sawdust. Built different. MC brushed the wood chips off his fit, flicked his hands, and a barrage of needles sliced through the air. Zhao Ming's pupils dilated. 1 second later, there was a hole in his head and he hit the floor, lights out, game over. MC started looting the room like a pro gamer, eventually finding a fat stack of contracts in an iron chest. Found his own contract, 50 taels lifetime servitude, total scam. MC smirked, hauled the iron chest back to the mine and dumped it right in front of the crowd. Any of you who can read, start passing these contracts out to the right people. Li Thought is dead. You stole these? You trying to get us all killed? Someone started tweaking, but one cold glance from our boy had him freezing in place. Pure aura. Zhao Ming is dead. The miners were dead silent for a second, then went absolutely feral with cheers. Total hype. Suddenly, an old man and some middle-aged goons charged in, looking like they wanted all the smoke. As they got closer, MC took one look and recognized the lead clown. Isn't that Jia Yunji? The old man's eyes were looking straight up toxic, staring at you like he's ready to commit a crime. You killed Zhao Ming, so you didn't even bother with the small talk. In a blink, you whipped a fire needle at his face, no hesitation, straight disrespect. You trying to die? Jia Yunji and his squad of middle-aged goons literally jumped in shock. They were pressed because you didn't even wait for a monologue before throwing hands. Clang, to be fair, Jia Yunji's been around the block. He dodged fast, pulled his blade, and swatted that needle away like a pro. But what he didn't expect was that his sword now had a literal needle-sized hole in it. Your heart skipped a beat. Okay, this unk might actually be a problem. Jia Yunji was sweating buckets, face redder than a tomato, screaming, you little rat. That old man Wei Yongzhen actually taught you the sex secret techniques? He's literally asking for a death sentence. Before the echo even faded, his sword started vibrating, lunging for your chest like a lightning strike. At the same time, his goons swarmed you, creating a literal kill box. You were cooked. Your heart's racing, palms sweating. The adrenaline is hitting different. Keep it a buck. This is your first time in a 1v5 lobby. You're basically a noob here. You backpedaled on instinct to dodge Jia Yunji's blade. But then a massive gust of wind hit your back. You didn't even think, just pulled a matrix move. Rolling on the dirt as a blade whistled right over your head. That was way too close. That was straight up lethal. If Old Man Wei hadn't taught you those survival hacks, combined with your absolute gigachad tier perception, you'd be catching a one-way ticket to the afterlife right now. No time to think, you scrambled up, ripped the bag, grabbed a handful of fire needles, channeled your mana, and just started spraying them like a suppressive fire god. And you didn't stop, you just kept launching them, no cooldown. The screams were hitting the high notes immediately. The goons dodged the first wave but got absolutely clapped by the second, 100% damage. They were all on the floor, wailing like they were auditioning for a horror movie. The miners nearby were just watching, absolutely shook. Like, who actually saw this coming? Everyone thought Yang Ming was just some skinny, malnourished monkey. Bro looked like a harmless NPC, just minding his business every single day. But today, he's moving mad. Straight up trading blows with an outer sect elite and not backing down an inch. Absolute gigachad energy. Jia Yunji is literally mauling right now. He can't even wrap his head around what kind of weird-ass projectiles our boy is throwing. It's too fast, too sus, and honestly kind of terrifying. The man is barely legal, so how is his internal chi reserves this stacked? Make it make sense. And boom, one of the middle-aged minions gets a flying fire needle straight to the third eye. He hit the floor like a sack of potatoes, game over. But let's keep it real. Our boy is running on fumes. He knows his mana pool is looking real light right now. If he keeps spamming these skills like a silver rank player, he's gonna pass out before he even touches Jiayunji. Time to lock in, deep breaths, keep it cold. Eyes locked on the target like a hawk, he's pulling out all the stops, tracking every single pixel of movement within a 10-foot radius. No more button mashing. He's using those pro-level techniques he learned from Old Wei, flicking his wrist with precision. Flying fire needles go flying, aimed dead center at the foreheads of the remaining scrubs. You can literally see the veins popping out of Jiayunji's forehead from the stress. The Unk loses his cool and screams, his sword flying out of his grip like a homing missile, aiming straight for our boy's heart. That thing was moving at light speed. He barely dodges, but the blade still grazes his chest. Man just took a L, that's gotta sting. He narrows his eyes, cold blood surging. He grits his teeth, pulls out 11 needles at once, and dumps every last drop of his remaining mana into the attack. He's gone full villain mode, orchestrating all 11 needles with terrifying precision. 5 of them chained together like a laser beam of death, zeroing in on Jiayunji. Another 5 zip toward the remaining goons, clearing the board of these low-level mobs. And that last one, it's just chilling in the air, ghosting the enemy, waiting for the perfect moment to deliver the final L. Those middle-aged goons had zero skill to begin with. They get one-tapped instantly, absolute trash. As for Jiayunji, he's backing up, tripping over his own feet. He's burning through every secret trump card he has, barely dodging the first 4 needles by the skin of his teeth. He thinks he's safe, he thinks he cleared the stage, but then his vision starts glitching. That final needle, it's been camping right in his blind spot the whole time. In a blink, it drills straight into his skull. A weird, cursed power floods his brain, and just like that, the look of pure shock, cope, and seething rage on Jiayun's face just frozen frame solidified into eternity. Bro went limp and folded like a lawn chair. You're looking at the body count scattered everywhere, and man, your brain is just lagging. You speedrun looting Jiayunji's sword and snatching back all your fire needles, every last one. Just as you're about to bounce, you see 2 absolute NPCs looking ragged as hell walking your way. Lo and behold, it's Hulai and Ming Ran. Young Ming, thanks a million, man. We were total clowns to you before, we're sorry. Hulai mutters, looking like he wants the ground to swallow him whole. Meng Ran is literally bugging out, mouth wide open, not a single word coming out. You look at them, straight-faced, and hit them with the, "Where the hell are Zhonggu and Lu Song?" Lu Song dipped and Zhonggu got clapped. Hulai is grinding his teeth, eyes burning with pure salt and hatred. You don't even blink, though you're low-key surprised that Lu Song actually managed to ghost everyone. I mean, there were like 6 or 7 top-tier sweats from the Wu sect guarding the exit. How did he pull that off? You reach into the loot bag you snatched from Zhao Ming, toss some silver to Hulai and Meng Ran, and say, "Here, take this. The guards at the exit are probably going to swarm us any second. We need to dip like yesterday." Suddenly, all those miners, especially the slaves who got scammed and dragged here, started moving mad, like they went feral, sprinting toward the dark-as-hell exit in a massive wave. You were planning to play it safe and hide in the forest, but this whole vibe shift was unexpected. Your eyes light up, and you're like, "Yo, follow them, let's rush that exit." This is literally a god-tier opportunity. You don't even hesitate, you just blend into the mob, basically getting carried by the sheer chaos of the crowd. Freeze. Where you think you're going? Motherfucker, get back or get packed. Some one-eyed fraud at the entrance lifts his crossbow and starts screaming like he's the main character. But these miners have been through hell for too long. They've already got that red-eye, zero-chill mentality. The exit is right there. Nobody gives a flying about his trash talk. If anything, the crowd just starts moving even faster. "Oh, you want to die? Bet, let me grant your wish." The one-eyed loser pulls the trigger. A few miners in the front get turned into pincushions and hit the dirt. Screw that, he's just one guy, he can't kill us all. Full send, let's get out of here. Someone in the crowd lets out a war cry, and boom, you're suddenly at the front of the pack. The vibe check is critical, and you seize the opportunity like a total gigachat. In the middle of the absolute chaos, you launch your flying fire needles. That one-eyed fraud's last good eye starts tweaking, and he's clearly feeling the pain. He lets out a pathetic screech, drops his crossbow, and starts clutching his face like his life depends on it. Skill issue, honestly. The miner's energy is peaking. They shatter the barrier and rush toward the path, but your gut is telling you this is far from over. You know for a fact there are like 6 or 7 other high-tier OSEC ops lurking in the shadows. This isn't a breakout, it's basically a speedrun to the afterlife. You silently recall your needles, but the meteor trap is staying wide open, locked, loaded, and ready to clap some cheeks as the sun goes down. Swoosh! A cold glint rips out from the forest, slicing straight through the group. Instantly, it's a total bloodbath, and the screams are absolutely cooked. It's the returning spring darts. "Bail, get out of here." Someone screams it, but the panic is already maxed out. Total anarchy breaks out, and just like that, more darts rain down on the crowd. A few more miners hit the dirt, turning the ground into a literal grave. Your eyes go cold. You've already locked onto the location of the rat throwing that trash. You hold your breath, steady your aim, and pew-pew, your needles flash into the deep woods like lightning. A muffled, choked-up groan echoes from the trees. You don't even hesitate to double-tap that clown. A thud, a little thrashing around, and then dead silence. Man's got folded, and he's never moving again. You use the chaos to dip into the forest and quickly find the old man's corpse. Your meteor trap glows red, and the needles zip right back into your inventory. Meanwhile, more screaming breaks out back with the miners. Clearly, there's another fraud lurking in the shadows. You dash through the woods, catching the aura of your next target immediately. No hesitation, you launch the needles before he even knows you're there. There! A furious shout rings out, but you're already moving faster, closing the distance. A stone tears through the air, headed straight for your head. You dodge like a pro and dive behind a massive tree. That rock just buried itself into the trunk. It's the dreaded flying phoenix stone. Your mana's slightly recovered, so you channel it into another needle and send it flying with pure hostility. A final pathetic scream, then complete silence, another fraud officially deleted. You rush to the body and find this scrawny NPC dead with his eyes wide open, massive L. Just as you snatch back your flying fire needles, you hear rustling in the woods. Bro, the squad is pulling up from every angle, you're getting jumped. Your heart drops to your stomach. You immediately start sprinting into the deep mountain like your life depends on it. These clowns realized something was up and ditched the miner massacre just to hunt you down. Absolute sweat lords. You're running for your life, your brain cells working overtime to find a way out. That little bit of mana you spent hours grinding back? Gone in 2 swings, you're officially cooked. Without mana, your flying fire needles are basically useless toothpicks. If they catch you, it's a GG lobby for sure. No other options, it's cardio or death, baby. All those months of training your body with toxic sludge, finally paying off, the grind is real. Those mountain thorns that usually shred skin? They're literally just scratching your itch now. You're built different. As you're zooming, you're suddenly hit with a massive craving to learn that windwalking technique from the Purple Origin Sutra. That cheat code would have you moving like a speedster. But man, that technique is impossible to read. My brain literally cannot comprehend this manual. It's too cracked. 2 hours pass and you are absolutely gassed. You're desperate for a save point to recover your mana, but one of these NPCs is a total freak with his movement speed. He's sticking to you like gum on a shoe, and you just can't shake this loser off. Suddenly, a flash of light, you instinctively dodge, but your left shoulder gets hit with a sharp, piercing pain. Blood starts gushing everywhere. It's a blue throwing knife. Not good. Lucky for you, your reaction time is S tier. It only grazed the flesh, missed the bone. No hesitation, you pop a recovery pill and chug it. A light bulb goes off in your brain. Time to lead this guy into a death trap. You sprint a little further, then suddenly hit the brakes. You sit cross-legged, straight up trolling, and start speedrunning your mana recovery. Before long, that middle-aged pock-faced sweatlord with the S-tier movement speed catches up. He sees your bleeding shoulder, sees you looking all wasted on the ground, and his eyes light up with pure villain energy. Bro thinks he's got it in the bag. He's feeling way too confident in his own speed. You open your eyes and see this 40-something-year-old pock-faced fraud standing there. To buy some extra time, you fake a pathetic cough, acting like you're on death's door, and weakly mutter, "I'm a disciple of Wei Yongzhen." The pockmarked middle-aged fraud just stood there, letting out a cold, goofy laugh. Old Wei's disciple? Don't make me laugh, that's cap. If you were really his disciple, why would you be out here catching bodies from our own sect? Listen here, you clowns, you want the truth? You even know how Old Wei actually went out? It was Jia Yunji, that snake teamed up with Feng Shu from the Jade Tower. After their first assassination attempt failed, they brought in 2 more goons and jumped the old man while he was already low HP, grinding him into dust. You start speedrunning the dialogue, talking so fast it's a blur, using the distraction to max out your mana regen while he's still processing the tea you just spilled. Sfu, kid, stop capping. The fact is you killed our people. That's the only reality that matters. Today, I'm breaking your legs and dragging you back to the sect to face the music. The pockmarked fraud lets out a loud roar, glowing knives flash in his hands, and he launches 2 projectiles straight at your legs. But a lethal calculated look flashes in your eyes. It's go time. Your flying fire needles were already loaded and overclocked with mana. You flick your wrist and let them rip. Keng, Keng, 2 crisp sounds later, those pathetic knives are knocked straight to the dirt. In that same blink of an eye, you launch 2 more needles, zipping through the air like lightning, straight into the fraud's kneecaps. Agate. The pockmarked loser crumbles, hitting the ground hard with a pathetic thud, looking absolutely shook that he just got humbled. You instantly pull back your needles, don't even look back, and dash into the forest like you're speedrunning a track meet. Gone in a heartbeat. About 10 minutes later, the rest of his squad pulls up and finds their boy crying on the ground, unable to stand. Once he spills the tea about what you said, the whole crew goes pale, scrambling to carry him back to Wu Sect ASAP. Because conspiring with outsiders to ice your own sect members? Yeah, that's a massive L and a major internal drama. You're deep in the woods, dodging and weaving, and only after you're sure there's no one on your tail do you finally let out a sigh of relief. You find a secure spot, fully recover your mana, and spend over a month straight locked in that grind set, leveling up your cultivation. Finally, you step out of the mountain cave, looking like a beast, and head straight for the Wanmeng Mountains. By now, you've reached a town right next to Wanglong Mountain, and your stomach is screaming. You're so hungry you could eat a horse, dying for a feast. To play it safe, you've got a wide-brimmed straw hat pulled low to stay anonymous, but you didn't expect that the second you walked into town, you'd see your own face on a wanted poster plastered on the wall. You take a closer look, and your heart goes ice cold. The portrait on that bounty? Yeah, that's 100% you. The Wu Sect put a bounty of 200 taels of silver just to bring you in alive. Wu Sect really thinks they're the main character, huh? You let out a cold smirk, yanking your hat down lower. You actually thought telling that pockmarked fraud the truth would make them reconsider. But nope, they're still hunting you like it's a game. You hit up a street food stall and inhaled 2 massive bowls of noodles like you haven't seen food in a decade, grabbed a couple of extra large flatbreads for the road, then snuck out of town like a ghost. Another 2 weeks of grinding on the road, absolute pain. Finally, you reach Banchu Town at the foot of Wanglong Mountain, the HQ that technically runs your home village. You're scanning the street, and bruh, your face is literally on a wanted poster. Talk about main character energy, but the wrong kind. Red flags everywhere, you're officially on high alert. If that clown Yang Hu finds out you're here, it's curtains. You scoff. Whatever, he's not worth the brain space right now. You stock up on rations, and once night falls, you full send it into Wanglong Mountain, relying on your memory to track down that secret cultivator cave from before. After a brutal trek through rivers and mountains, you finally hit that misty, ominous ravine. You find the hidden entrance to the underground river and start parkouring up the slippery, moss-covered rocks. It gets darker the deeper you go, so you're locked in, 100% focus mode activated. But something feels off. The closer you get to the cave, the more your internal alarm bells are screaming. Something is definitely sus. Suddenly, the cave entrance comes into view. You don't move a muscle, you're playing it smart. You catch a whiff of a funky, pungent stench, straight up wild beast droppings. Your heart skips a beat. Back in the day, that flower demon kept all the beasts away. But now that the demon is gone and you've been away for so long, don't tell me some random beast moved into your crib and trashed the 9-leaf dark yang herb roots. That would be a massive L. You're getting heated now. You grip your flying fire needles, channel your mana, and charge into the cave. And of course, there's a freaky-looking fox lying there. Its fur a dark, blood-tinged green. The fox has glowing cyan eyes and sleek fur, but it's limping with dried blood on its leg. The second your eyes lock, this creature goes absolutely feral. It might be limping, but it lunges at you with zero hesitation, claws out ready for violence. The stench is hitting different. You hold your breath and yeet the flying fire needles at it without blinking. But here's the kicker, the fox's eyes widen, and it performs this absolutely cursed mid-air dodge, narrowly dodging your enchanted needles. Like, excuse me? Your eyes go sharp. This beast actually dodged a mana-infused attack, built different. Even though the fox is cooked from its injuries, that dodge clearly made its wounds way worse. It stares at the needles appearing back in your hand and goes full rage mode. It lets out a low growl and suddenly its body buffs up. It's literally twice the size it was a second ago. The beast's claws flash with a deadly chill, swiping at you for the millionth time. You grit your teeth, dash back, and pump your mana into a dozen fire needles. Time to turn this stray into a pincushion. Slicing sound. Its claws rip your chest open, blood everywhere. The azure fox is having a much worse day. You literally pierced its gut with a dozen needles midair, and it comes crashing down, leaking like a broken faucet. But this thing is stubborn. Ignoring the gushing blood, it scrambles back into its cave like it's trying to hide its L. It cowers in the corner, staring at you, thinking, how the actual hell did this kid survive my full power delete combo? Then it sees you pop a healing pill like a snack. Your chest wound seals up instantly, bro is built different. The fox's eyes go wide, filled with pure greed and thirst for that loot. You're feeling way better now, but your rage is still at 100. You pull out a whole handful of fire needles, load them up with mana, and prepare to deliver 1,000 needles to the heart special. But wait, the fox suddenly puts its front paws up. It's actually surrendering? It turns around, moves fast, and straight up rips the 9-leaf sun-turning fruit out of the ground, dirt and all. It shoves the plant in your face like, take the loot, just don't kill me, please. You don't even flinch. Your cold, dead stare hasn't changed a bit. The fox realizes you're not falling for the bribe, so it grits its teeth and coughs up a small oval-shaped orb. It's crystal clear, glowing green, and covered in slime. Gross. You're still standing there, needles ready to fire. The fox is straight up panicking now. Ignoring its wounds, it jams the fruit back into the soil, snaps the orb open, and dumps the liquid onto the plant's roots. And bruh, a miracle happens right in front of your eyes. The withered roots start glowing and turn vibrant green faster than you can blink. Your brain hits the realization limit. This is the legendary spirit fluid. The alchemy handbook said this stuff is basically a growth hack for herbs, doubling their speed. We're talking taking 10-year growth and knocking it down to 3 to 5 years. That's insane. This fox is definitely not just some random mob. Thinking fast, you slowly lower your guard, but keep the fire needles locked and loaded, just in case. You walk into the cave, use your skill to yoink the needles out of the fox's gut, and hit it with the ultimate flex. This cave is mine now. But hold up, the azure fox is looking at you with some serious attitude. It points at the 9-leaf sunfruit, then points at its own wounds and locks eyes with your chest like it's thirsty for that loot. You're stunned for a sec, then it hits you. Bro is literally trying to trade with you. Business mogul in the making. You think it over, then yeet a spirit-nourishing pill at it. The fox swallows that bad boy whole, eyes lighting up like a Christmas tree. Then this absolute legend bows to you like a human before limping off into the underground river. Respect. You clean out the cave, heal up for a few days, and give your little nursery a major glow-up. You lock in, it's either this 9-leaf fruit and hard grinding or nothing. No leaving the cave until you hit level 3 chi refining, period. Time means nothing in these mountains. You ghost the chaos heaven art and dump every single brain cell into your purple source technique. Fast forward a year and you're meditating when your eyes snap open. You've been stuck at the peak of level 2 for a whole month. It's literal agony. No matter how much you grind, that wall just won't break. You're so tilted you're ready to start throwing hands with the universe. Okay, clearly brute forcing it isn't working. Time to switch up the strat. You pace around, realizing your 14-year-old self is having a massive growth spurt. You're basically adult-sized now. You brainstorm, a ruthless glint appearing in your eyes. You clench your teeth, sit back down, and pull out a 8 treasure pill. You stare at it for a hot minute before just gulping that nuke down. The Alchemist Handbook specifically says, only take this at level 3 or you'll literally explode into confetti. But you're one step away, so you're betting it all on black. Let's see if we survive. As soon as that pill hits your gut, the spiritual energy goes full volcano mode. It's an absolute riot in there. In a microsecond, your meridians are getting shredded like paper. You panic chug a spirit-nourishing pill to try and fix it. Spoiler alert, it makes it way worse. Just as you're about to meet your ancestors, your brain pulls a 500 IQ move. You switch to the Chaos Heaven art and force that lethal energy to forge your muscles and tendons instead. And bruh, it actually miracle. That violent, toxic energy stops trolling and actually starts behaving, flowing right into your muscles and meridians. Over and over, it reforges your body, purging all that mid-tier trash out of your pores. You swap back to the purple source technique, that wall shatters like glass, and boom, you're finally level 3 chi refining. Suddenly, the whole world hits different. Your senses absolute god tier, everything is fully upgraded. Eyes open or closed, you can track every single movement within a dozen meters. You're basically running wall hacks now. Having total control over everything? Bro, the feeling is literally hitting different. It's peak satisfaction. It took a hot minute to snap back to reality, but after a quick dip in the underground river, I'm feeling fresh as hell. Total vibe. Look down at my bod and wait, am I literally glowing? My skin's looking like high-def crystal. My arms and legs are looking absolutely shredded. The gains are real. Finally, the boy is a legit cultivator now. We made it out the mud. Kept my cool, grinded the cultivation for another half-month, then headed over to the nursery. It's been over a year, and the 9-leaf ink sunfruit is finally growing a thorny leaf and a tiny little bud at the base. Let him cook. Carefully watered that bad boy, full of main character energy and anticipation. Chilling on my stone bed, I pulled out that mysterious black treasure. Been staring at this thing for 6 months and I'm still lost. But it's giving major, this is somewhere in the ocean energy. What kind of godly loot is hidden in this map, anyway? It's driving me low-key insane, but I shoved the map away to focus on the purple origin technique. Once I broke through, those spells just hit different. Heaven's Eye, Chi Suppression, Object Control, Wind Mastery, Ice Sword, they all feel like entirely new cheat codes. Especially Object Control. It's like my brain just opened a third eye. Total enlightenment moment. Got hyped, sat up straight, whipped out a flying fire needle and started spamming the technique. 2 weeks passed, L after L a whole month. Still taking Ls. My stubbornness kicked in. I'm like, nah, I've got the secret sauce, I know it. Not today. I refuse to lose. Cleared my head of all the brain rot and poured every ounce of mana into that Object Control. Finally, after another month, I flicked my finger and the needle actually started wobbling in the air. We move! Success, I went full Monka, jumping around the cave and throwing hands in the air like a total gigachat. Once you master one move, the rest are light work. Before I knew it, I'd speedrun learned Heaven's Eye and Chi Suppression too. With my current stats, I can control 12 needles at once. Absolute menace behavior. Also discovered that the more mana I dump into them, the bigger and longer they get. Sheesh. I've been locked in this cave for a year and a half, farming crazy stats, but the isolation is starting to hit hard. Realized real quick that solo queuing this cultivation life ain't the move. If I had a sensei to drop some knowledge, I'd be cracked. The urge to join a top-tier sect is hitting different now. After thinking it over like 3 times, I decided, it's time to touch grass and leave this cave. Picked that half-bloomed fruit and a leaf and just sent it down the hatch. Let the chaos technique do its thing and absorb that juice. And man, I can feel my physical stats hitting a whole new level. We're leveled up, baby. You carefully pack up that 9-leaf Sunyang fruit root, strap your sword on, and step out of the cave like an absolute main character. Rolling out of Wanglong Mountain, you make a beeline straight for Yangzhuang Village. Time to secure that revenge for Gramps. It's been 3 years since you dipped, and the village looks exactly the same. But without Gramps here, this place is giving zero vibes. It's stone cold. You're not trying to get caught slipping, so you wait until dark to stealth your way into the village. Thanks to your new stealth technique, Yang Hu's guard dog literally couldn't sniff out a fart even if you dropped one right in front of it. You walk right up to that mutt, and just as it's about to bark, you hit it with the drop kick of the century, launching that dog into the stratosphere before it could even let out a whimper. Straight up deleted. You creep up to Yang Hu's crib. Through the window, you see the family of 3 chilling and eating. His kid is still acting like the main character, hogging all the good food, and his wife is still giving off that same weak NPC energy. And Yang Hu bro has somehow gotten even fatter, looking like a literal ball of lard chugging wine. For a split second, you see the kid playing with your flying fire needle, and you hesitate, but then, the memory of Gramps getting taken out by this clown plays in your head like a 4K horror movie. Your eyes go cold. No hesitation, you launch that flying fire needle through the window straight into Yang Hu's heart. You make a fist, and that needle shreds his heart from the inside. Spinning like a blender, you flick your wrist, and the needle zips right back into your hand like magic. You watch from the shadows as Yang Hu tries to scream but just gags and flops over dead. Absolute skill issue. You dip immediately. Behind you, the room descends into total chaos. Chairs flying, women and kids screaming, pure cinema. You used to fantasize about torturing him, roasting him, making him suffer for what he did. But now that the moment's here, you realize none of that extra drama even matters. Honestly, killing him felt like a chore. You couldn't even be bothered to show your face. You head to Gramps' grave, give him 3 heavy bows to pay your respects, and vanish into the night like a ghost. You've got the next move locked in. Find a legit cultivation sect and start your speedrun to immortality. Chapter 15. I think not. In Bansheechan Town, at some budget street food spot, you're slamming down a bowl of hot oily noodles like it's the best thing you've ever tasted. Yang Ming finally puts the chopsticks down, licks his lips and vibes in peace. Then he remembers the Omen sect has bounty on his head, and bro starts sweating a little. He wants to join a cultivation sect, but Yang Ming was thinking if Old Wei's letter could actually secure him a spot in the Wu sect, then with that kind of rep in the martial arts world, maybe tracking down a real cultivation sect wouldn't be such a massive L, right? With that, Yang Ming decided it was time to pull up to the Wu sect. Before, when his stats were still mid and he hadn't hit the 3rd layer of Qi refining, he was kinda ghosting the idea, but now, he's cracked the 3rd layer, plus he's got that new telekinesis skill, making his flying fire needles actually hit different. Bro's confidence level is officially through the roof. After stocking up on snacks, Yang Ming followed Old Wei's drop, trekking toward the Wugan Mountains while keeping a low profile. Old Wei said the Wugan Mountains are basically the gatekeeper of the western side of Mo Prefecture in Jiang State, and if you cross them and head further west, it's just a massive endless desert. As for the Wu sect, they set up shop right next to a super sus, curse swamp near those mountains. Yang Ming hit the road, grinding his ice sword art and windwalking technique along the way like a total lone wolf. Honestly, he's vibing. Late that afternoon, while Yang Ming was sitting cross-legged on a rock getting those gains, he heard some chaotic horse and carriage noises echoing down the trail nearby. The carriage suddenly skidded to a stop, followed immediately by some lady screeching with main character energy. Who's the absolute clown trying to block our young lady's carriage? You speedrunning your own funeral or what? Yang Ming was already over the noise, sliding off his rock, ready to dip when the lady started popping off again. Open your dog eyes and look who you're dealing with. This is the Wu sect's carriage. Scram before I end you. Wu sect. Yang Ming's heart skipped a beat. He stopped dead in his tracks. He scrambled into a nearby thicket, parting the thorns to get a better look at the drama unfolding on the path. Right in the middle of the road sat this massive flex-worthy carriage. Driving it was this middle-aged woman in a purple dress, looking like she's ready to throw hands, gripping the reins tight. The horses were absolute units, looking majestic as hell. They were neighing like crazy, clearly in pain. Surrounding the carriage were over a dozen guys in green hoodies with masks, brandishing blades like they're ready to start a riot. The leader, a tall dude, wasn't even fazed by the woman's trash talk. He just flicked his hand, signaling the boys to rush the carriage. Let the cooking begin. These blue-clad goons stomped the ground in unison, raising their blades high to create a literal web of steel. No gaps, just pure spam. They went full aggro, slashing straight at the middle-aged lady and the carriage. Clang, clang, clang! The sound of metal hitting metal was straight-up deafening. Half of these clowns literally face-planted into the dirt, while the rest landed their blades right into the carriage walls. Boom! The carriage shattered, and a girl in rocking a veil flew out, landing perfectly on her feet like a total MC. It's getting dark, but Yang Ming can still see she's got that premium build. Can't see her face, but the energy she's radiating, she's definitely young and cracked. Connecting the dots from what the lady in purple said earlier, Yang Ming is thinking, hold up, is this actually Wu Qingxuan, the big boss lady of the Wu sect? Just then, the lady in purple rushes over, acting all worried. Miss, are you okay? Wrong D, I'm chilling. But these dudes are built different, especially those 4 camping the perimeter. Stay frosty. Before she could even finish her sentence, she lets out a shrill scream, jumping back like she'd just stepped on a cursed viper. Wrong D. She's clutching her waist, blood pouring out, looking shook to her core. She literally cannot believe what's happening. Yang Ming is watching from the sidelines, absolutely mind-blown by this plot twist. Bro literally watched the lady in purple whip out a dagger and try to shiv the girl in the gut. Thank God the girl in red has high reflex stats. She dodged just enough so it wasn't a lethal hit. If she hadn't, that sneak attack would send her straight to the lobby. As expected of the Wu sect's heavenly princess, even at point-blank range, I couldn't one-tap you. The one talking is the blue-clad lead clown with the mask. He saunters over to the lady in purple like he owns the place. Yang Ming is hiding in the bushes, and honestly, he's shivering. From Zhao Ming, Old Wei, and Jia Yunji all the way to these guys. Everyone in the Wu sect is playing 4D chess with people's lives. It's actually terrifying. Nah, skip that. I am not visiting the Wu sect. That place is a toxic wasteland. Whatever, the purple origin art has 10 levels anyway. I'll just grind that and find a different sect to join later. With that, Yang Ming decides to bounce. He's ready to ghost the area and keep his head down. Zhao Kuo thought you'd be just snake enough to bribe even Wrong D. Well played, you fraud. The veiled girl in red is bandaging her wound, teeth gritted in pure rage. Hearing that name, Yang Ming's movement suddenly stops dead in his tracks. Wait, this masked lead clown is actually the nephew that manager Zhao Ming keeps bragging about? The star pupil of the Wu sect? Bro is cooked. Zhao Q really living up to that saying, it's never a coincidence, it's just fate. Bro's identity is exposed, so he just rips off his mask like he's in a reveal video. He's looking kinda handsome, Loki looks like that Zhao Ming clown. Xuan, just hand over the oolong token, he says. We go way back, so we might actually spare your life. The lady in the purple dress sighs at Xuan, acting all fake. My dear, you know I've been good to you all these years. Then why are you teaming up with this Zhao Q fraud to backstab me? Xuan gritted her teeth, trying to fight through the pain of her injuries. Xuan, don't blame me. There's stuff you just don't get. Then the purple-clad lady looks at Zhao Q and starts blushing, like actually blushing. It's dark, so Xuan misses it, but Yang Ming sees the whole scene. Man's confused, but he doesn't really care. Doesn't matter anyway. Since Zhao decided to show his face, everyone here is officially on the death list. Chapter 16, the Oolong Token. Yang Ming doesn't even blink, he just steps out of the bushes like he owns the place. Who's that? The goons in green behind Zhao Q start tweaking, screaming in panic. Yang Ming doesn't say a word, he just flexes his meteor dagger, letting it float in front of his chest. With a flick of his wrist, 12 flying fire needles turn into glowing death rays. And shink, they go straight through the skulls of the green-clad goons. A cultivator! They all start losing their minds at once. Before they can even process the L, the rest of the fodder drops dead, needles buried deep in their foreheads. Xuan, Zhao Kou, and the purple lady stop acting tough and start speedrunning away. These guys are top tier in the normal world, but in front of a real cultivator, they're just terrified NPCs. Yang Ming is a bit surprised they just bolted, but he immediately sends the fire needles chasing after Zhao Kou. Seeing the death needle coming for his neck, the lady in purple shrieks at the top of her lungs. Immortal Master, wait, you can't kill him. He's a spirit seed. He's heading to Oolong Valley. If you kill him, the immortals at Oolong Valley will hunt you down, I swear. Hearing spirit seed in Oolong Valley, Yang Ming's heart skips a beat. He twitches his finger and the needle stops dead an inch from Zhao Ku's neck. He's not a spirit seed, and he doesn't have the token. What kind of bargain bin spirit seed is this guy? Xuan shouts from afar, her voice full of absolute hate and cringe. Xuan, babe, why are you being like this? You don't even have the talent, so why hold on to that Oolong token? Just give it to Zhao Kou once he enters Oolong Valley and levels up to a real cultivator. Oman is about to officially become the top-tier squad in the entire underworld. The lady in the purple dress is still out here playing therapist, trying to give Wu Qingxuan some life advice. He killed my pops, so I'd rather take the L and die than hand over the Oolong token to that clown. Wu Qingxuan's voice is fading fast. Bro is straight up tanking a massive HP drain right now. Sis, chill. The sect leader's death was a total skill issue. It had nothing to do with me. Is out here speedrunning his own apology tour, trying to clear his name. Yang Ming is listening to this drama and getting a headache. He has zero interest in these NPCs' mid-tier beef. The only thing he's actually down bad for is what that purple dress lady dropped earlier. Something about immortal roots or whatever, but hey, he stopped the violence for a sec. Might as well drop some questions while he's at it. All of you, get over here, I got questions. Give me answers that don't bore me, and I might consider not sending you to the respawn screen. Yang Ming is feeling some type of way right now. Like he's got this main character aura, straight up looking down on all three of these clowns. He's literally holding their delete button in his hand, and he could press it whenever he wants. He can't tell if this feeling is a W or an L, but it's definitely hitting different. The three of them scramble over, realizing they've been yapping too much. Now they're acting all shook. In the low light, they can't even see Yang Ming's face, or they'd be absolutely terrified out of their minds. Tell me, the Oman put out a bounty on some guy named Yang Ming. What's the tea on that? Yang Ming's voice is colder than the Arctic. These three look like they just got hit with a frost spell. Yang Ming? Which Yang Ming? The purple dress lady is looking clueless, but Wu Qingxuan and Zhao Qiu's faces just went through a 180. Yang Ming saw every single micro-expression. These clowns are cooked. Big sis Wu, why don't you enlighten me? Yang Ming says it cold as ice. Before Wu Qingxuan can even open her mouth, Zhao jumps in. It was a direct order from the sect leader. We don't know nothing. Cap, Wu Qingxuan snaps. Zhao Qiu is the one moving mad, blocking the investigation into the internal traitors, plotting to get the elders clapped. That bounty on Yang Ming? Straight from him and his master's playbook. Wu Qingxuan lets out a cold huff. Seeing Zhao Qiu acting like a scared rat just makes her lose all respect. Zhao Qiu, you got anything to say for yourself? Yang Ming holds a fire needle in his hand, his eyes totally devoid of chill. Zhao Qiu is vibrating like a broken controller, stuttering. She's straight up capping. Who is Yang Ming? I don't know that guy. How would I even have the authority to put a bounty on him? Don't know who I am? But you definitely know Zhao Ming, right? Yang Ming said, sounding totally fed up. Zhao Qiu's whole body started shaking like he just saw a ghost. He tried to get a look at Yang Ming's face, but even with his cracked cultivation, it was too dark to see a thing. Whatever, doesn't matter anyway. Yang Ming already pieced the puzzle together. Asking more questions was just a total waste of his time. Zhao Qiu felt a sudden wave of relief, but before he could even celebrate, he felt a sharp piercing pain right in the middle of his forehead. Next second, some wild energy surged in and wiped his entire life bar to 0 in a millisecond. Seeing Zhao Qiu hit the floor lifeless, the woman in the purple dress couldn't even process the L she just took. She stood there stunned, then let out a screech that could shatter glass. You're cooked. You're actually cooked. You just killed the immortal cat of Oolong Valley. Their immortals aren't going to let this slide. They're going to end you. Then why don't you head down there and join him yourself? Yang Ming didn't even blink. With a flick of his wrist, a fire needle pierced the woman's forehead. Finally, the world went quiet. The silence was golden. After a beat, Yang Ming looked at Wu Qingxuan and said, I took out your ops for you. Now tell me the whole tea, the oolong token, the immortal roots, the immortal cat, spill everything. Wu Qingxuan looked up at the young reaper in front of her and deadpanned, just kill me already. Yang Ming's face soured instantly. What, for real? You think I'm scared to catch another body? Wu Qingxuan shook her head and whispered, That's not it. You're a high-tier mortal master, and we're just literal NPCs compared to you. Why would I even try to negotiate with someone like you? I was already poisoned, and then I got backstabbed by someone I actually trusted. That dagger was laced with even more venom. I'm basically running on 0 HP now. Instead of waiting to rot, I'd rather just get deleted by you and call it a day. Her voice was just pure exhaustion, defeat, and total vibes off energy. Yang Ming checked her status and realized, yeah, she wasn't lying. He pauses for a sec, then just smirks like, you know what? If it wasn't for that cringe-wanted poster, I would been a star disciple at the Wu sect a long time ago. Hearing that, Wu Qingxuan's eyes go wide, she is shooketh. Yang Ming pulls a letter out of his stash and hands it over. Take a look, bestie. She grabs it, lights a candle to melt the seal, and just stands there frozen, absolutely speechless. After a hot minute, she drops her voice and mutters, our Wu sect really fumbled the big on a massive power-up. We could have been built different, but we chose the wrong path. Zhao Qiu and his master are total clowns, greedy for clout and straight up griefed our sect. Yang Ming isn't buying her act, though. He's skeptical as hell. He's seen way too many snakes in this sect to trust her vibes. Let's skip the small talk and get to the point. Give me the Wu Dragon token and spill everything about the immortal roots, immortal sprouts, and the Wu Dragon Valley. I'll detox your system and make sure you don't end up a L-taker in the grave. Yang Ming is speedrunning this. Time is money when you're on the cultivation grind. Wu Qingxuan finishes reading the letter from Elder Wei. It's confirmed. Some rats were indeed selling the sect out at the Shinshan mine. They were trying to unalive Elder Wei, and the dudes Yang Ming folded? Yeah, those were definitely the ops. Since she's tight with Elder Wei, she was already planning to spill the tea on the Wu Dragon token. But now that Yang Ming is promising to cure her poison, she's vibrating with joy. This is the glow-up she needed. She's finally got hope that she won't be deleted from the server. So, she stops gatekeeping. She starts yapping and tells him everything about the token. Everything about the immortal sprouts, 0 secrets left. Yang Ming isn't a fraud, so he doesn't cap. He hands over the second letter from Elder Wei just like he promised, and even tosses her a clear heart pill to seal the deal. Young Bro was out here hunting for a cultivation sect with absolutely 0 leads, but somehow everything just fell into place like pure destiny wild. So, handing over that clarity pill to Wu Qingxuan, Yang Ming felt like it was a major W investment. The only L here is that getting his hands on the oolong token is going to be a whole side quest of its own. Turns out, Wu Qingxuan didn't want the ops, specifically this clown Zhao, to snatch it, so she yeeted the token straight into the black swamp of the Wu clan's forbidden zone. 2 days later, Yang Ming and Wu Qingxuan pull up to the black swamp. The twin music fairies. This place is giving major cursed vibes, pitch black, floors covered in rotting trash, and the smell straight up vile. Right in the middle of this gloomy abyss is a 30-foot pool of black sludge. Bubbles are popping on the surface like some toxic soup, disgusting. Wu Qingxuan stops in her tracks and says, I'm out, bro, this is as far as I go. The poison fumes coming off this swamp, I literally can't handle it, I'm gonna pass out. Yang Ming just nods, built different, and walks solo toward the edge of the muck. According to Wu, this is the exact spot where she tossed the oolong token into the abyss. Yang Ming knows he can hold his breath for a hot minute thanks to his magic, but staring at that toxic black slime, even our boy was feeling a little bit of hesitation. With his current stats and skills, he literally has to dive into this chemical waste to find the token. No other way around it. But Yang Ming isn't just mindlessly Leroy Jenkinsing into this, he's got a plan. He's been soaking his skin and muscles in toxins for months just to level up his durability. He doesn't know his exact defense rating yet, but he's got massive faith in his heaven and earth chaos technique. While traveling, he's been grinding that technique, analyzing every single character like he's prepping for finals. The sheer hacks this chaos technique provides still got him feeling like, damn, I'm OP. So Yang Ming decides to test if his skin is really built different or not, and just shoves both his hands deep into the swamp water. The second he's submerged, a bone-chilling cold hits him, making him shiver, but inside he's absolutely geeked. The water Wu Qingxuan thought was lethal poison is doing literally 0 damage to him. Still, to be extra safe and not get cooked, he keeps that clarity pill under his tongue just in case. Yang Ming is feeling himself today, honestly just vibing. He's got this baddie with a main character build standing right behind him, and bro just straight up sheds all his clothes before diving right into the pond like it's a spa day. Wu Qingxuan is watching from a distance, and when she sees Yang Ming just full send his clothes into the void, she's shook. Had to cover her eyes real quick. She waits until she hears the splash to open her eyes, and realizes that other than his head poking out, the man is fully submerged in the toxic pond. Seeing he's not getting insta-killed by the poison, she's basically fangirling at this point. She's always wanted to be a cultivator, but let's be real, she didn't roll the right stats. No talent, no cultivation route. That local fraud immortal master from Wulong Valley told her straight up, no route, no life, stay a civilian. It's a brutal pay-to-win system and there's no hacking it. But man, she's down bad for that cultivation life. Especially after her pops passed and she got betrayed by that snake Dung Di. The loneliness is hitting different. She's stuck in a midlife crisis with zero play. Meanwhile, Yang Ming is vibing at the bottom of the pond with his eyes closed, feeling his skin basically turn into armor. The poison literally can't touch him. Bro is built different. He's low-key amazed at how cracked the heavenly chaos technique is, mentally bookmarking it to grind harder later. His mental scan is currently weak, only reaching about 30 meters. So, after moving around twice, Yang Ming spots this weird palm-sized tablet floating toward the shore and scoops that bad boy up. Yang Ming checks it out. It's not wood. It's not iron, just this pitch-black material, shaped like a mountain and smooth as glass in his grip, with two massive characters engraved on it, Wulong. Bro is grinning ear to ear. With this Wulong token, he's officially got the golden ticket to join the sect. Wulong Valley, could you maybe put some clothes on? Wu Qingxuan says, blushing harder than a tomato. Yang Ming realizes he's basically raw-dogging the atmosphere, chuckles awkwardly, puts his fit back on, and walks over to her. This is the Wulong token. Take this to Wulong Valley, and tell them you're the immortal seed picked from the Wumen branch of the Wukan Mountains. I'll hit you up with a written recommendation letter by then. Wu Qingquan was staring at that oolong token like it was the last cheat code on Earth. Straight up thirsty, but then her vibe shifted into total gloom. Yang Ming clocked that mood swing immediately. He already knew she was basically a 0 on the immortal scale, no talent whatsoever, so he was curious as hell and asked, so how exactly do they test for this immortal root nonsense? Wu Qingquan let out a massive sigh and dropped the L-bomb. The master from Oolong Valley carries this weird crystal orb thingy. You just gotta place your hand on it, and it instantly decides if you've got the talent or if you're a total NPC, plus it shows what kind of elemental stats you're rocking. Aha, makes sense. Yang Ming locked that info into his brain. He was 100% checking his own stats the second he stepped into that valley. Next, he went straight for Juku's master, and straight up smoked him with a flying fire needle. Total clap. 2 weeks later, Yang Ming crossed the Oolong mountain range and hit a desert that was honestly just a massive empty grind fest. According to Wu Qingquan's map, Oolong Valley was supposedly hidden in this middle of now-here sandpit. Yang Ming wasn't sure why, but he trusted her intel. He tanked through the sandstorms for like 5 or 6 days straight. Just as he was down to his very last piece of dry bread, the Oolong token on his belt suddenly started acting up, glowing like a gaming PC on steroids. Before he could even blink, a beam of light shot out from the yellow sky, moving at speed hack levels right toward him. A silver-clad baddie landed on a giant flying silver gourd right in front of him. Talk about an entrance. Finally, Yang Ming was face-to-face with a real cultivator, not just himself. He was low-key hyped, but his don't-get-clapped instincts kicked in, so he palmed his flying fire needle just in case. Yo little bro, I'm Shuang Yue, the guide for Oolong Valley. Hand over the token and your proof of identity. The silver-clad baddie gave him a smile so soft he felt like he was catching a breeze. Yang Ming quickly handed over the token and the letter Wu Qingquan wrote for him. She checked them out and smirked. Everything looks legit. No fraud here. Come with me. I'll get you registered. Once that's done, you're officially part of the Oolong Valley. Yang Ming was low-key vibrating with excitement, hopping onto the girl's silver gourd, and then whoosh, they were zooming across the desert at light speed. Yang Ming watched as she pulled out this weird golden paper, started speed-running some incantations and slapped it into thin air. The paper straight up transformed into a beam of light, vanishing into the void like it was never there. Moments later, a stone staircase manifested out of literal nowhere. Big isekai energy vibes. We're here. Stick with me, she said. She dragged Yang Ming up the stairs, and the silver gourd just shrunken down into a tiny cute little keychain size. Where she stashed it, I have no clue. It just flashed and poof, gone. They reached the top, and bro, the view was absolute peak. Floating mountains, magical mist everywhere, literal islands floating in the sky. It's giving budget, infinite. It was actually breathtaking. Song Yue pulled the gourd back out, it went growth spurt mode, and they dipped toward a massive palace. This place was a total flex, massive bluestone plaza, crowds of NPCs walking around everywhere. Some were main character vibe checking, laughing and living their best lives. Others looked like they were having a rough time, just straight up losing at life. Alright kid, go register yourself and get your spiritual root checked, she told him. Depending on your stats, they'll assign you a crib and your daily chores. Good luck, hope we cross paths again. She gave him a you got this look and bounced. Absolute queen move. Yang Ming walked into the hall, seeing a whole queue of newbies just like him waiting to get their stats checked. He had zero clue what his build was, so he just stood in line, low-key sweating bullets and waiting for the reveal. Chapter 18, The Glitched Dual Spiritual Roots. Inside the hall, there was this massive glass orb just chilling in midair, and this old dude in white robes, giving Major Master Shifu energy, was standing there, holding a thick-ass book and a weird-looking quill. Everyone had to walk up and put their hand on the orb. The orb would start glowing in all sorts of crazy colors. Then, the old sensei would scribble down their stats in his record book like he was checking their credit score. Aight, it's finally Yang Ming's turn to step up. He takes a massive breather, tries to chill his nerves, and walks up to that glass orb like he's about to drop a mixtape. What's your name? The old man in the white robe asks, looking like he's bored out of his mind. Yang Ming. Yang who? And which Ming is that? The old man kept pressing, being extra for no reason. Yang as in wood mauve, Ming as in bright light. Bet. The old man flicks his brush, scribbles Yang Ming in the ledger and says, slap your hand on the orb and let's see what you're made of. His voice was drier than a desert, literally zero emotion in his aura. Yang Ming listens and places his right hand on the glass. Suddenly the orb starts glitching out, flashing on and off like a dying light bulb. Then pop, it literally shatters into pieces. The old man's jaw drops, he's looking confused as heck. Then he taps that dusty gray pouch on his hip and pulls out a brand new orb like it's nothing. Try it again, the old man says, squinting at Yang Ming's hands like he's trying to solve a crime. Yang Ming is low-key stressing, thinking the orb was probably just mid and hit its expiration date right when it touched him. He rolls with it and places his hand on the replacement orb. The thing starts flickering like a strobe light again, and bam, it explodes into a million pieces. The old man's eyes literally glow with disbelief. He mumbles something to himself, pulls out a golden talisman, chants some weird incantation, and the paper turns into a streak of light, vanishing into thin air. A minute later, an old dude in blue robes with a long white beard walks into the hall. As soon as the white-robed old man sees him, he buzz immediately and goes, Uncle Moo, this kid's talent is straight up bugged. My orb literally can't handle the sheer energy coming off him. I need you to step in and handle this yourself. Uncle Moo lets out an "oh," clearly shook, then turns his gaze to Yang Ming and says, give me your hand. Yang Ming is low-key tweaking now, but he stays obedient and holds out his wrist. The old man grabs it, closes his eyes to sense the vibes, and when he opens them, his eyes literally flash with a golden light. Bro is built different. But then the old man in blue suddenly pulls a long face and goes, what a shame, what a total waste, such a tragedy. This random shamerant left Yang Ming looking like a confused NPC, and honestly the white-robed old guy was just as lost. He bows and asks, Uncle Moo, what's with all the doom and gloom? The blue-robed elder strokes his beard and sighs. This kid, he's got a dual mutant spirit root. That's insanely rare. A dual mutant spirit root? You mean two of those rare types at the same time? The white-robed elder, looking like a total sage, is straight up shook. If he was born in the ancient era, this kid would be an absolute gigachad with heaven-defying talent. But let's be real, resources these days are mid at best. With a talent like that, he's got zero hope of reaching foundation establishment. Bro is basically a walking L, a certified cursed build. That's why I'm saying it's a tragedy. He literally speedran his birth in the wrong timeline. The old man in blue keeps shaking his head, sounding like he's mourning a dead meme. So Uncle Moo, what do we do with this kid? The white-robed elder bows again to get the tea. Uncle Mew strokes his beard for like an eternity before dropping the verdict. Look, he showed up with our oolong token, so just let him into the sect like everyone else. Just toss him some random cave and give him the bottom-tier chores. Bet, Uncle Moo. Consider it done. The white-robed dude bows as Uncle Moo dips, his white hair and beard looking all aesthetic as he leaves. Then he turns his gaze to Yang Ming. He gives him that I'm sorry for your loss look and just sighs helpless. Yang Ming, you've got a dark and lightning dual mutant spirit root. If you were missing just one of those, you'd be a top-tier core disciple. You'd be built different, top of the class. But you heard what Grandmaster Moo said, the verdict is in. Because you got that extra mutant root, you're basically cooked. Foundation establishment is never happening for you. The sage-looking elder picks up his fancy brush. Next to Yang Ming's name, he writes, Dark Lightning Dual Mutant Cursed Talent. He thinks for a sec, then hands Yang Ming an eye badge, the official sect disciple pass. He looks him in the eye and says, from this moment on, you're officially part of the Oolong Valley gang. But fair warning, you only get to pick an abandoned. If you need the starter cheat codes, just head over to the skill hall and grab them. The old dude in white robes handed Yang Ming a jade slip while he was at it. He added, this slip has the whole checklist of gear you're owed and the menial tasks you're stuck doing every month. Yang Ming took it without a word. Ever since that old geezer with the white beard dropped that roast, Yang Ming had been ghosting everyone. Total silence, not a single word. Being told he'd never reach foundation establishment, that hit different. Bro was down bad. His mood was absolute trash, even if he didn't fully get the technical implications yet. He had a gut feeling that his life was about to be on hard mode. After stepping out of that flashy, high-budget main hall, some random NPC led him and the other new recruits to pick up their starter packs, but then this guy went the extra mile and dumped Yang Ming at the Sunset Ravine. The vibe was instant depression. The place literally smelled like poverty and neglect. Sunset Ravine is basically the slums of the Wulong Valley sect, the absolute worst spiritual energy in the whole map. Walking in, Yang Ming realized this place was a ghost town, not a single soul in sight. But after messing with the starter loot he got earlier, his mood started to level out. He'd made peace with his trash talent. At least for now, he felt his cultivation was doing just fine, so he decided to just snag the basic manual from the skill hall and let it rot on a shelf. Besides, living in this dump was just a side quest anyway. The Jade Slip made it clear, once you grind enough chores, stack up enough sect contribution points, or hit the 9th level of Chi refining, you can move out of this basement and upgrade to a real crib at Longxi Mountain. Yang Ming quickly claimed an abandoned courtyard near the mountain stream as his temporary base of operations. There was a plaque above the gate that read Wangxi Abode or whatever. Fancy name for a shack. He put in some work, did a little spring cleaning, and the place actually stopped looking like a dumpster fire. The place had a front and backyard, plus 4 wooden rooms, 3 big ones, a main hall, a bedroom, a kitchen, and a tiny room that was basically a latrine. In the front yard, there was a neglected herb garden just sitting there. According to the Jade slip, you can pick herbalist as your side hustle, but you gotta go to the sex logistics hall to get the seeds and sign your life away in the ledger. As long as you submit the required quota of herbs every 6 months, you get those sweet contribution points, but you better hit your quota, because if you fail, the next bill is double, or they're coming for the points you've already banked. Skill issue, I guess. Yang Ming's been speedrunning those alchemy manuals and mainlining that chaos cultivation cheat code, so you already know he didn't even blink before picking the herbs. Back in his room, our boy starts unboxing all the loot he scored earlier. The Jade slip gave him the full rundown on what this gear actually does. First up, a basic tier inventory bag. A low-tier sword for when he needs to send someone to the lobby. A low-tier flight artifact for those midnight stealth missions. And a basic alchemy starter kit to get that grind going. Yang Ming masters the inventory bag in seconds, just pumping a little mana into it. He aims it at his hull, and boom, a faint glow shoots out, shrinking everything down instantly. He slurps all his items into the bag, does it a few more times because it's satisfying, then gets bored. Time to actually plan his next move. Realizing his knowledge bar is looking a bit mid, he decides to camp out at the sex library for a couple of weeks to grind some XP. Plus, he's dying to know what's actually going on with his mutated lightning spirit root, like, is he secretly OP or what? After a quick reset, Yang Ming dips out of Wangxi abode, heading straight for the library. Chapter 19, The Cursed Talent. But the second he steps outside and sees how massive the Lakhnyet Mountains are, he realizes he's moving a bit too fast. The senior disciple who dropped him off earlier literally flew here on a board. And yeah, this place is basically the slums of the sect, far away from the main hall, and the mana density is total trash. If he wants to reach the library, he's gonna have to learn how to fly this thing himself. He reaches for the inventory bag at his waist, pumps some mana into it, locks onto the flight artifact, and pulls it out with his mind. It's tiny. Barely enough room for one person. It's shaped exactly like those locust tree leaves his grandpa used to grow. So naturally, he calls it the locust leaf. He pumps more mana in, the leaf starts floating, and he steps on it like he's walking on thin ice. Bro is sweating bullets, terrified he's gonna eat dirt the second he hits the throttle. He tries a levitation spell, and the leaf starts wobbling like it's had one too many. He lifts off, but he's swaying like he's trying to walk in heels. Panicking, he drops his center of gravity to stay stable. He plants his feet, finds his balance, and adds just a tiny bit more mana. The locust leaf finally takes off, putting through the air around the abode slow as a turtle on a treadmill. After grinding for a solid hour, Yang Ming finally figured out how to pilot his flight artifact without crashing. But the sun's already dipped, and while he's got the basics down, our boy hit a snag. His mana pool is looking a bit dry, so he literally cannot go any faster. Talk about a skill issue. Plus, the homie is starving, so he packed up his leaf glider, headed back to his crib, and crushed his last tiny sad cracker with a glass of water. Poverty levels, extreme. He went back to digging up that abandoned dirt patch, moved some soil to the backyard, right against the cliffside, and set up a little DIY nursery, replanting those 9-leaf black sunfruit roots. Man, if only I had some spirit fertilizer, I'd be cracked, Yang Ming muttered to himself, cleaned up the mess, and dipped into his wooden bedroom. He sat cross-legged on the bed and pulled out a white jade bottle, the stash of 8 precious pills. There were 19 originally, but he already speedran his level 2 breakthrough by popping one. 18 left on the menu. Yang Ming didn't even hesitate, swallowed another one, fired up the purple origin art, and started the grind. Bro stayed locked in all night until sunrise. Feeling his mana level go up, Yang Ming was low-key obsessed with how OP these pills are. The recipe and the crafting steps were already in his alchemy journal. So Yang Ming decided he's gotta start learning alchemy soon. Otherwise, once this bottle is empty, he's gonna be stuck without his XP boosters. He kept the grind going until noon, and once the pill energy was mostly absorbed, he wobbled onto his leaf glider and crawled toward the central hall. Bro was moving at turtle speed. It took him 2 whole hours to reach the sect's main HQ. The area was stacked with side buildings. The library, the technique pavilion, you name it. Yang Ming didn't rush to the library. He hit up the odd jobs hall first to pick up some side quests. He took a contract for 100 dandelion seeds, meaning in 6 months, he owes the sect 100 grown dandelions. If he delivers, he gets those sweet contribution points. He chose dandelions because they're basic healing herbs, easy to grow, and they spread like crazy. Plus, they'll be perfect camouflage to hide his 9-leaf black sunfruit. Big brain plays. Seed secured. Yang Ming. We got this skinny, midlife crisis-looking monk just chilling in a massive chair, straight up speed reading a book like his life depends on it. He spots someone walking in, his eyes literally light up, and he goes full customer service mode. Yo, here for some cheat codes, my guy? Yang Ming just shakes his head. Trying to cop some magic steroids then? Yang Ming keeps shaking his head. I'd bet you're definitely here for some OP spells. The monk's smile is beaming now. Mans thought he was about to secure the bag. But Yang Ming goes for the triple head shake, and you can literally see the smile die on the monk's face. His vibe instantly shifts from customer service to get out of my sight. Then what are you even here for, bro? Yang Ming gives him a polite bow and stays calm. Senior, you got any books on immortal roots I can look at? Hearing that, the monk immediately clocks him as another broke boy rookie who just joined the sect. These new recruits are literally everywhere lately. Just another fresh NPC wandering into the library, clueless about the grind, looking for the cultivation for dummies starter pack. The monk has seen this type a million times. They're always broke and ain't got no spirit stones to spend. Man instantly loses all interest, total vibe kill. He lazily points his finger toward a tiny crusty door on the side. Mumbling, "Go through that door, kid. Everything in there is free, don't touch the premium stuff." Yang Ming throws him a quick thanks anyway, and dips through the door immediately. He finds a bunch of other disciples inside, but the room is dead silent. Nobody dares to even breathe loud in there. Yang Ming's eyes light up. He's hyped now. He scans the room, finds a shelf, and starts speedrunning through the scrolls. Time just starts hitting different. He's completely locked in, zero hunger, zero sleep, just straight up drowning in knowledge. Until his stomach starts screaming at him, and Yang Ming finally snaps back to reality from his study session haze. He remembers he's got one last hunger stop pill left, downs that bad boy, and gets straight back into the grind. 10 days go by in a blink, and Yang Ming looks like he's seen a ghost. He stands up, closing the final page of this ancient, crusty-looking book. For the last 2 weeks, he's been leveling up his IQ on all this cultivation lore he didn't even know existed. Especially that dusty, forgotten book he found in the shadows of the back corner. It finally gave him the tea on what his mutated immortal roots actually mean. But man, after finishing that book, he's feeling heavy. The truth hits different. Whether we're talking about the ancient cultivation era or these mid-tier times, most cultivators have basic elemental spirit roots. Like, just the standard stuff. Only a few lucky NPCs get those rare mutated spirit roots. The basic 5 elements are everywhere, but mutated roots, those are S-tier rare. And having dual mutated roots? Bro, that's like finding a shiny Pokemon in a pile of garbage. Now for the poor bros holding those dual mutated roots, that specific build makes their foundation establishment stage basically impossible. Major skill issue. But back in the ancient days, different vibes. The spiritual energy was hitting different, just absolutely cracked. High-tier loot and spirit herbs were literally lying around everywhere. Back then, dual mutated users were called the Chosen Ones. They'd get hit with that Heavenly Grace buff, a literal cheat code from the universe. Once they got that heavenly glow up and smashed their foundation establishment, their core formation and nascent soul stages were way more cracked than anyone else in their tier. Built different but look at us now in the modern era. The resources are basically non-existent. We're out here broke. The spiritual energy is thin, total mid compared to the old school days. And that Heavenly Grace buff, that's been lost to the lore for centuries. Mia gone dead. So for the homies today rocking mutated roots, there's zero chance of getting that heavenly shower. It's over for them. When they try to foundation establish, those two mutated roots start beefing with each other, draining their energy like crazy. It makes leveling up 1,000 times harder than your average NPC cultivator. Straight up 10,000 times harder. At that level of difficulty, succeeding is basically a mathematical impossibility, which is why having dual mutated roots nowadays is basically an L-tier curse. Rip to those guys. But wait, what actually is Heavenly Grace? Nobody knows. Every cultivator today is basically clueless. Chapter 20. Bro is broke, but he's grinding. So Yang Ming finally realizes the basic roots are just your standard metal, wood, water, fire, and earth elements. But the mutated list, that's huge. We're talking wind, lightning, dark light, poison, ice, snow, you name it. Once you know your build, you gotta pick the right cheat code to actually get good. And Yang Ming? Yeah, our boy just found out he's rocking the dark and lightning dual